Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 amazing Harpie combos that you need to know to play this deck. Harpies are an amazing deck that can easily deal with back row, and it's just such a fun deck to play. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name scratched in a single video, getting your signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So for our first combo guys, I'm going to show you one of my favorite Harpie Lady combos that just requires basically 2.5 cards, which is amazing, which is going to be a copy of your Harpie Channeler, Fearsome Fireblast, and any card to discard off of Harpie Channeler, which is amazing because it just means you need a Harpie card in your hand with your copy of Channeler. So what we're going to do is go ahead and normal summon out our copy of Channeler to our side of the field, then special summon out a copy of Fearsome Fireblast, which is amazing because now that you have a dragon on your side of the field, you actually have the ability of your Channeler that increases this card's level to 7, which is super cool because now you can make a rank 7 play. So now we're going to use the effect of Harpie Channeler, discarding the Harpie card that we have in our hand to the graveyard to special summon out one of the coolest cards in the entire deck, our copy of Harpie Perfumer. Now Harpie Perfumer has a really cool ability that since we control a high level Harpie monster, we can actually get 2 searches instead of 1 search with a card that contains Harpie Lady's sister in the text, which is actually going to let us search out a copy of Harpie's Feather Rest and a copy of Elegant Egotist, which is amazing how powerful Elegant Egotist is in this build still to this day, when this was released in the 2nd pack ever, which is just so cool. It's actually released in Metal Raiders. So what we're going to do at this point is we're actually going to go ahead and activate the copy of Elegant Egotist to get an additional special summon of one of our vanilla Harpie Ladies to our side of the field, which is super cool that you can play the original vanilla Harpie Lady in this deck as well. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and overlay both of our copies of our level 7 monsters to be able to make a copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack. Now once we summon out our copy of Dracosack with our 2 level 7 monsters that we have on our side of the field, we're just going to go ahead and detach our copy of Channeler, specifically Channeler, to be able to summon out 2 wind tokens to our side of the field. Now these tokens are basically not going to stick around very long, but it's very important that they are wind because you can go in for cards like your copy of Harpie Conductor if you want to, but we're just going to go ahead and link into a link to monster using these 2 cards, which is important to be able to go into something like a copy of IP Masquerena or into a copy of your Harpie Conductor. So at this point, what we're going to do is go ahead and link both of these monsters away. And once we do, we're going to summon out a copy of Harpie Conductor to our side of the field using our 2 Harpie monsters that we have. Now, as you guys can see, we have 2 link 2s on our side of the field. So we're going to go ahead and link both of these away into an extremely powerful monster, our copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. Now this card is insane to be able to make with this deck because this card basically is invincible now, because when this link summon card is on the field, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one, and it also has a crazy powerful ability that once per battle during damage calculation, if this card battles a special summon monster, quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that monster's attack during the damage calculation only. But if you combine that with cards like your copy of IP Masquerena, this card actually gains the ability that it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects as well, pretty much making this card immortal, making it so that your opponent has to like kaiju this card to be able to deal with it, which is very hard to be able to do if they don't have a kaiju, making it really, really hard to deal with, which is just super, super cool. Now at this point, we can activate the copy of Harpie's Feather Rest, which lets us target 3 Harpies in the graveyard, shuffle them back in the deck, and then draw a card, which is really cool. But this card also has the ability that for the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except for wind monsters, which we're done special summoning anyways. So we're just going to activate this card, putting 3 of our Harpies back into the deck, a copy of Channeler, our original Harpie Lady, and say a copy of Perfumer, to basically just put these cards back into the deck so we can use them later. And then we're going to get a card to our hand, which is amazing that you basically get this entire field off of just using a copy of Fearsome Fireblast, Harpie Channeler, and any other Harpie card. It can be any Harpie card that you use this combo with, which is just so cool that we get such a classic XZ monster and pretty much an invincible monster plus an extra card in our hand. So this combo, guys, is going to show you why Small World is so important for your Harpie deck, because we're actually going to be able to search out one of the most important cards in the deck off this card's ability, getting directly to our copy of Harpie Channeler, just by having basically any Harpie you want in your hand to be able to use with this card, which is amazing. I'm going to show you guys an amazing Small World bridge with this combo. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate our copy of Small World to be able to reveal in our hand a copy of the Vanilla Harpie Lady, then revealing in the deck our copy of Harpie's Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fireblast, which the only thing these cards have in common is they're actually wind, making it a great Small World bridge. Now we're going to go ahead and reveal our copy of Harpie Channeler off the effect of Small World to be able to add this card to hand, banishing both of these cards face down, which is amazing to be able to use that Small World bridge. It's one of my favorite Small World bridges in this deck to be able to do, to instantly get a copy of Harpie Channeler. So I'm going to show you guys another really cool thing about getting your copy of Harpie Channeler to your hand with a copy of Harpie Harpist in the hand, which is just super cool to be able to do. Is what we're going to do is normal summon out our copy of Harpie Channeler, discard the copy of Harpist, which is going to let us add another copy of Channeler during the end phase since it was sent to the graveyard, to be able to special summon out a copy of Harpie Perfumer. Now we're going to use the effect of our Harpie Perfumer, which we're only going to get one search since we don't control a high level Harpie monster. So we're going to search out our copy of Harpie's Feather Rest, because during the end phase, we're going to get a copy of Harpie Channeler, and this card can be used to discard to the graveyard for your copy of Channeler if you don't have another Harpie card, since it has Harpie in the name, which is super cool. So then we're going to go ahead and contact synchro both of these monsters together to be able to summon out a copy of Cyber/ Harpie Lady, which is an amazing boss monster. You might be looking at this card and going, wait, you didn't have a tuner. How did you summon out that card? Well, there's a really cool thing about your copy of your Cyber/ Harpie Lady, because it doesn't actually require a tuner monster to be able to make this card if you use Harpie monsters. Because for this card Synchro Summon, you can treat any one Harpie monster you control as a tuner, even though it's not a tuner. Basically being like a copy of Chaos Angel, if you guys want to think about it that way. So we have two level 4 Harpie monsters. We can count either one of these as tuner monsters to be able to make our copy of our Cyber/ Harpie Lady, which is super cool to be able to do to instantly get us a great boss monster on our side of the field. It also has a great effect as well, that when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, except during the damage step, quick effect, you can target one monster your opponent controls or a Harpie monster you control and return it back to the hand, essentially giving us a compulse if a spell or trap card is activated, which conveniently enough, we do have the copy of the Harpie's Feather Rest, which you can activate now if you want to be able to draw 2 cards, which is really cool to be able to draw 2 cards to your hand, basically getting 2 blank cards to your hand of this card's ability, or you can save it in your hand for later to be able to use with your copy of your Harpie Channeler. It's up to you what you want to do. But during the end phase, we're going to go ahead and add our copy of Harpie Channeler to our hand, setting up for next turn for another play with these 2 cards. But if you did decide to activate this card, since you control a level, basically a high level Harpie monster, and you activate this card level 5 or higher, you're going to be able to get 2 blank cards to your hand off your copy of Harpie's Feather Rest, essentially with your hand looking like this during the end phase, which is insane. If you didn't have the copy of Harpist, it would just look like this basically, and it wouldn't have the copy of Channeler, but you still get the copy of Channeler if you have the copy of Harpist in the hand, essentially having a hand like this, basically getting a boss monster on your side of the field. But that's why Small World is so important in the deck, because this card basically gets you to your copy of Channeler so easily, and it's such a powerful card in this deck. So for this one, guys, I'm going to show you one of the most powerful Harpie combos in this deck to be able to get some insane pluses off of your copy of Hysteric Sign. So with this particular combo, we're going to need a way to get to our field spell, Hysteric Sign, Harpie Channeler, and any Harpie card in our hand. So basically it's a 3.5 card combo to be able to get some insane plays with your copy of Hysteric Sign. So what we're going to do is immediately send our copy of Harpie Queen to the graveyard to be able to add our field spell to our hand, meaning you can technically open up the field spell instead of Queen if you want to do this combo, but keep in mind that the field spell is mandatory throughout this combo. So now what we're going to do is normal summon out our copy of our Harpie Channeler, Channeler, use its ability to be able to send our copy of our vanilla Harpie Lady to the graveyard, or any card that says Harpie in its name to the graveyard, to be able to special summon out our copy of Perfumer. Perfumer is the best target to be able to summon off your copy of Channeler because it does give you an additional search, which is amazing. So at this point, what we're going to grab is Feather Rest to our hand to be able to get into some more plays later. Now, what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and set our copy of Hysteric Sign because we want to pop this card just like we did when it was first released. It's still good to pop this card. So then we're going to go ahead and activate our field spell, which says that when a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sister is normal or special summoned to your field, destroy one spell or trap card on the field, meaning it's mandatory to pop a spell or trap on the field. So if it's the only spell or trap that's on the field, you must pop this card, which is a little bit of a downside of the card, but you basically just activate it when you count the amount of cards that you're going to summon versus the amount of spells and traps that are on the field. So you really have to think about it when you activate this card. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same play as the last combo. We're going to contact these two into a copy of our Cyber/Harpie Lady. And just like before, you don't need a tuner because you can treat one of these two as a tuner when you summon out this card, just like Chaos Angel, which is really, really cool. This card was actually the original Chaos Angel because this card didn't require a tuner. So we're going to go ahead and contact these two together. Your effect of your field spell will go off, popping the one and only back row we have besides itself, which is going to be Hysteric Sign, which is going to go off during the end phase to let us add any 3 Harpie cards we want from our deck to our hand, which is insanely broken. I remember when this card first came out, it was like, whoa, a 3-card search off of a Hysteric Sign if we pop it with MST? That's insane. So now we have the copy of Harpie's Feather Rest that we can actually activate, and since we did use a bunch of Harpies in this combo, we're going to put 3 of our Harpies back into the deck that we used. Queen is really important to put back so we can get another copy of this later if we need to, plus this is also raising our monster up by an additional 200 attack points, which is great. That this card is at 2,800, plus if your opponent had any monster on the field when you activated Feather Rest, you could also bounce an opponent's monster back to their hand off this combo, which is really cool. So we're going to put these 3 back on the bottom of the deck. You would shuffle the deck normally, but we're just going to go ahead and draw any 2 cards off the top of the deck. These are blank cards. We don't know what they are for the combo, so we're just going to put these 2 in our hand. Then during the end phase, I'm going to show you guys the best targets to actually search off your copy of Hysteric Sign. So these are the best targets that I've found in the deck. It depends on the situation, but if you end with a field like this is hands down the best cards to be able to summon. So what we're going to do is go ahead and add a copy of Harpie's Feather Storm. This card is actually live in your hand as a hand trap since we have a Harpie on the field, because if you control a Wind-Wing Beast type monster, until the end of the turn negate any monster effect your opponent activates, and if you control a Harpie monster, you can activate this card from your hand, essentially turning it into a hand trap that you can immediately activate during your opponent's turn, essentially turning their whole turn off. That is insane about this card. Also, if this card in the Spell and Trap card zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add Harpie's Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard or hand. One of the most broken cards ever created gets searched if you pop it with your copy of Hunting Ground. We then add a copy of Channeler. You guys know it's the best card in the entire deck, so you want to add this card, and you need a Harpie card in the hand to be able to use your copy of Channeler's ability later. So we're going to add the best card to discard off this card's ability, which is going to be our copy of Harpist off the copy of Hysteric Sign. This is the best cards I found to be able to use with the copy of Hysteric Sign, because you're going to get another search off your copy of Harpist when you discard it during the end phase of the effect of Channeler. You have this to turn your opponent's entire turn off. If they do try and activate any spells and traps, you can bounce whatever they summon off the effect of Cyber/Harpie Lady. You have a 2,800 attack point monster on the field, and you end with 5 cards in your hand plus field spell and your copy of Cyber/Harpie Lady, which is insane, while also with your copy of Feather Rest, recycling everything that you used for this combo, which is just so cool. I love that about this combo. It's insane that basically just by opening those 3.5 cards in your hand, meaning all those cards in the hand, is just so easy to basically just go in for this insane play and set up this really easy board to be able to basically just go in for game on the follow-up turn, because you're basically just going to be able to summon out this, use this ability, and then make anything that you want to make for the situation that you need it. You can go in for all sorts of really cool plays from there, and it's just absolutely crazy. But make sure that you drop this against your opponent during their turn to turn off their entire turn, because this card is insane. You see those feathers flying around? It's perfect for this card because they both have feathers, and it's just insane how easy it is to turn off their turn, like it's in the card artworks that you want to use these two together. So that's going to basically do it for this combo. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you did enjoy this video and learned some Harpie combos. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Harpies before, I highly recommend it. If you guys would like to check out the deck profile, as always, it's down in the description down below, just like for every combo video. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.